The macrocosm and the microcosm, the universal and the individual, all arise from the one truth. Their manifestations and emerge from the truth which is not affected by either. That truth is known as the Formless God. When this immutable, transcendent, and immanent Formless God, instead of just being, decides on becoming, that consciousness is best designated as God or Almighty. The divine ground of everything that is the spiritual absolute called the Supreme Soul or the Oversoul. It is also the ground, the base, the core, the reality of man. Yet in spite of becoming, which is only an illusion, an imposing multiplicity of the one being, it remains one. So long as inquiry is postponed, only the multiplicity is known. The multiplicity is neither real nor unreal. It is relatively real, temporarily real, pragmatically real, a combination of truth and falsehood. It is apparently real, but fundamentally unreal. It is real for the most practical purposes, but unreal when the basic nature is unraveled. The clouds appear to be stuck to the sky. So too, the tendency to conclude that what the senses tell us is true, or to project our preferences and prejudices onto the world around us, gives us an untrue picture of the Formless God. It makes us believe that the world is real. Its impact warps our reasoning process, our sensory impressions, and our views on God, creation, and all humanity. It spreads before us a diversity which tantalizes and deceives. The basic truth upon which primal illusion projects its kaleidoscope is described by seers as the omnipresent, universal consciousness. This does not mean that the Formless God has three attributes. Namely, it exists beyond space and time. It knows and can be known, and is the source and acme of bliss. They are not three distinct characteristics. They indicate the one, of which the three can be grasped by experience, not by words, for words can only recoil before the Godhead. We cannot assert that the Formless God belongs to any class or genus, nor can it be defined by the three basic qualities. It cannot be described as performing any specific activity, for it is motionless and timeless. Nor can it be explained in terms of relationship, for it is one without a second. Illusion is only the divine will that inaugurated the manifestation of the cosmos, asserting, "I am one, I will be many." Illusion is inherent in every being, and in every activity of that being. It has three aspects of achievement through the three modes and moods of that will. They are the calm, content, and even-minded mood, the potent, passionate mood, and the inert, slothful, sluggish mood. When illusion prompts us into the calm, wholesome mood of that will, we become progressive seekers of the higher wisdom that reveals the unity. When we are overwhelmed by the passionate quality of that will, we are deluded into the pursuit of worldly victories, ephemeral wealth, and renown. The inert nature of that will seeks the quickest and easiest ways of happy living. These are the reflections in our minds of the basic modes of that will that the Formless God assumes when it is moved by the primal urge to express itself. The facets of that will are called wisdom, yearning, and action. The three modes affect beings and things in various proportions and orders. This is why we have all the variety and diversity of the objective world. God, individualized or universalized, is one. The individualized soul and the universal cosmic soul are one and indivisible. The philosophers of all lands and of all times have sought to discover the truth about God, the objective world, and man, as well as their mutual relationship. Illusion is the will that creates all three. It is a clear, flawless mirror. When the calm nature is reflected in that mirror, God results. When the passionate nature is reflected, the individual soul or individualized self results. It is ever anxious to grow, garb, to survive, and to be secure. When inert nature is reflected, matter, the objective world, is the result. All three are the universal soul, but they derive their reality as its reflections. When undergoing reflection, they attain different forms and combinations of characteristics. The one becomes the many. Each one of the many is real, only because of the one in it. Illusion, too, is a component of the one. By the emphasis on that component, the one transformed itself into the many. We know that illusion is like a mirror. The mirror reflects within itself all that is before it. The convexity or concavity of the mirror, or the covering of dust that might have settled on it, will certainly blur the reflected image, but it cannot distort the objects themselves. God, the world of matter, and the individual soul are all images of the universal soul reflected in the mirror of illusion. It is warped by the human characteristics that tarnish the surface of the mirror. It is the mirror that pictures the one as many, but the one is ever one. Therefore, it becomes plain that neither the personalized God, nor the individualized self, and not even the objective world can ever succeed in knowing and discovering the beginning of the illusion which brought them into existence and started the chain of act sequences act. Nevertheless, one can succeed in knowing when the illusion will end. When will it end? When the objective world is ignored, set aside, or discovered to be inherent in the divine. Then the individual soul is no more. When the individual soul is no more, the Creator is also superfluous and disappears. And when the Creator has faded out, the formless God alone is. Where there's no child, how can a mother exist? It is a word with no significance. When a personalized God, a personality separate from the soul, and the mental creation of that soul, called the objective world, are non-existent in the developed consciousness of man, then illusion, the forefather of all three, cannot persist. In truth, man is the encased Atman, or God within. He is the repository of the infinite, ever full, one, indivisible Atman. Yet man, at best, remains man, and that he is satisfied with the desire to bring about goals dominant in him. Many people are content with their dealings with the objective, pleasure-seeking world. Their ideal is only to amass material wealth and satisfy their material needs. Examine yourself and discover at which level you are. By analyzing your desires and activities, in this way you can yourself redirect your thoughts and urges. Your revised urges must have a beneficial impact on your activities, for it is through activity that human characteristics are given up or gained. Activity causes birth and death and fills up the years of one's life. It supports good and evil, joy and grief. However, humanity is willfully unaware of the activities that will lighten the burden of its life and illuminate the God within. It is the inner God that illuminates all, but humanity is in the dark about its existence. Just as everything sweet is sweet because of the sugar it contains, all things and objects are cognitive because the God within is behind the cognition. It is the universal witness. It is the sun that activates, but never gets activated itself. You too must establish yourself in the position of a witness. The saints and sages have laid down methods by which man can attain the status of a witness. Meditation is the most important of these methods. It is the seventh of 8 steps, the last one being bliss, and grants the wisdom to be completely unaffected. The 6th stage is concentration. Concentration is the stage when repeating the Lord's name, ritual worship, and other practices are done in order to prepare the mind for meditation. Meditation is not merely sitting erect and silent, nor is it the absence of any movement. It is the merging of all your thoughts and feelings into God. Without the mind becoming dissolved in God, meditation cannot succeed. The Bhagavad Gita describes genuine meditation as those persons who adore me without any other thoughts or feelings. People adept in this meditation are very rare. Most people go through only the external exercises, so they are unable to win grace. Meditation is interrupted in most cases by worry and anxiety regarding one's kith and kin and one's financial problems. But since all of these are manifestations of the illusion which is natural to the formless God, the Lord, in which you take refuge, it will certainly free you from the fear. Why? You are each one of you the God within and nothing else. Your bodies too are expressions of the God within. Your personality, individuality, mind, and emotions are all manifestations of the God within, which is the prime mover of your life.